Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Yes, hello there.
Well, this headline says it all. Gas stations are running dry as the pipeline races to recover from the hacking, quote unquote.
That's very, very disturbing. That can send chills up anybody's spine.
It certainly did with us.
Yep.
And we are thankful that we're not 100% on the road anymore.
I know we're not 100% on the road, but we're still dependent on needing to go here and there to get things done.
Mm-hmm. As is everybody, and people that commute and all. You have gas stations all along the U.S. East Coast that are running out of fuel as North America's biggest petroleum pipeline races to recover from paralyzing cyber attacks, kept it shut for days. So from Virginia to Florida, Alabama, stations are reporting they've sold out gasoline as supplies in the region dwindle and the panic buying sets in. An estimated 7% of the gas stations in Virginia are out of fuel as of late Monday, according to Gas Buddy. And when we go and jump over at Breaking 911, you see gas prices reached a national average of $2.99 per gallon, highest national average in 6 years. Might not sound bad if you're on the West Coast, but as far as a national average, yeah, it's climbing up. And this is what happens when, well, at least when I just tried to get on Colonial Pipeline, they're down still. They are definitely down, and this might take a little while. Let's hope not. Mm-hmm. As we see, Governor Cooper declares a state of emergency for North Carolina, halts vehicle regulations. So steps are being taken to battle what's going on. And of course, when you look at everything that's going on, for me anyway, it's pretty obvious. This is exactly what happens, guys, in a build-up to an actual conflict. As we see here out of the Daily Mail, the FBI has confirmed that DarkSide, a Russian hacking outfit, so that word is in there right now, made up of ransomware veterans, were responsible for the attack on Colonial Pipeline. And in fact, the President, JB, he said as much in a statement. So they are pointing the finger over in that direction. And then, of course, we had that massive, massive hack by Russia previously. And then we've had all the instances with everything going on with the fine dining ware country as well, CHINA. The thing is, that kind of boggles my mind is you'll have the left pointing to Russia while the right was pointing to China, but they're allied and they're going to be allied. This is just so obvious. Mm-hmm. It's part of the same. Well, I mean, they're part of BRICS, right? And BRICS came along to basically give an alternative to certain countries to the petrodollar. And BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. There's a decoupling going on. We also talked about how, Russia and China have been getting away from the petrodollar. They've been working together more, and they've been basically making it so that and I think it's probably a win. We want to put the intention out there, of course, that we don't want any open conflict of this like. But again, powers that be have it in mind that there will be another conflict. And I was reading of Morals and Dogma, which is 671 pages last night by Albert Pike, A. Pike. And, really it's a rehash of so much that has gone on before. I really haven't gotten into anything new, so to speak, at least from my thinking, but I'll be sharing with you guys as well. It's pretty much the same continuation of what is learned when you go into the secret societies.
Well, and they have things down to a science by now. They understand how humans are going to behave and how we're going to react when certain things happen. So this is very calculated.
So again, we have gas stations in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia shortages. We have a state of emergency in North Carolina. Gas is surging as far as the prices go. Fingers are pointing over at Russia. Meanwhile, Russia, of course, denies involvement in dark side attack on Colonial Pipeline. So now it's straight out. U.S. officials believe Russian cyber criminals were behind this ransomware attack. Another attack on major infrastructure when you're getting ready to perhaps have open conflict. And this could still be just a buildup that might take years. It still could be a buildup where we see this type of thing going on for years. Or there could be a trigger, as we had seen, again, activity by the Iranian Navy that the U.S. Navy was deeming hazardous, where boats were getting awful close again to other ships. So, this type of thing is happening. Something could go wrong at any time. We've seen all sorts of strange things happen throughout history, and even things even things said to happen that never did happen, like Gulf of Tonkin. Remember, too, what was planned for Cuba when we go way back to the Kennedy administration, which he didn't go on with. And we've talked about that many times, these fake banners, so to speak, FFs. Meanwhile, oil prices are falling as traders eye gasoline demand and Colonial Pipeline developments as they are hoping to get it online by the end of the week. But we shall see, because there are sources saying this is actually much more severe than they're letting on.
It is. I can't imagine. I was up all night last night thinking about this and going over this and the possibilities and the ramifications. And yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, we have one extra at this point in time, 5-gallon, bucket or whatever you would have of gas, that we do keep with us, really, as far as like emergencies, because you never know. I mean, I left Florida in 2017 to get away from the hurricane, and you had to use your gas buddy carefully to make sure you could get gas on the way out in between steps, as you're making your way out of the state. So, there's a lot of things to be prepared for here. And this is from South Front, which is all about the military. And it's talking about Colonial Pipeline and vulnerabilities of critical infrastructure, especially because that is the target during wartime. Critical infrastructure supplying 45% of the East Coast diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel, right, is disrupted right now, including jet fuel. So now you have some long-term flights that were going to be going out of Charlotte. I've flown in there so many times that they're having to add stops to because they don't have the gas, the jet fuel, to go, full non-stop flights. They're going to have to make steps now, have them stop in different places because of the fuel shortage. And so when I saw this is just one of those other odd. This is one of those odd positioning of assets. And there is a major exercise going on right now up off the Alaskan coast, as you see the Theodore Roosevelt up there and the Mackinac Island up there. And we also see the Iwo Jima up off the northwestern coast of basically Scotland, between Scotland and Iceland. So, interesting positioning. Yeah, there is a military exercise, a major military exercise going on off the coast of Alaska right now. And then we see the Ronald Reagan off of Japan and the America ESG off of Japan as well. And the Eisenhower is positioned in case of issues in the Middle East. But where these other groups are, they're positioned pretty high. So interesting. To me, I wonder if that's a message to Russia here with the positioning, because the Aleutian Islands right there, they terminate right over at Russia, and the Iwo Jima is pretty high too. So curious positioning, curious times. All just basically points to preparedness as much as possible. Being ready for power outages, gasoline shortages, rationing. As we have said before, David Devine, our good friend, believes there's going to be meat rationing by the end of the year. And it very well can be the case. There was a comment that came out about that I saw JB was trying to parry, so to speak, because he made a comment about that was taken that there could be meat rationing, so to speak. So we'll see. We'll see. Interesting times. Just get ready as best you can.
Yeah, definitely. God bless and namaste.
God bless, guys. Make sure you are subscribed to both channels. Thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Namaste.